Welcome to the video tutorial on communication in Linux. While working on a Linux operating system, you may need to communicate with other devices. For this, you can use some basic utilities which will help you communicate with networks, other Linux systems, and remote users. So let us learn them one by one. Starting with ping. This utility is commonly used to check whether your connection to the server is healthy or not. This command is also used in analyzing network and host connections, tracking network performance and managing it, testing hardware and software issues. The ping command is ping space IP address or the host name. Let us try some of its examples on terminal. On running ping space the IP address, the system sends 64 bytes of data to the IP address. If even one of the data packets does not return or is lost, it would suggest an error in the connection. You can press the Ctrl+C key combination to exit from the ping loop. Similarly, we can use ping space the host name. We will try www.google.com here and check the connection to the server. This is how you can use the ping command. Moving on to FTP, it stands for File Transfer Protocol, and it is the most preferred protocol for data transfer amongst computers. You can use FTP for logging in and establishing a connection with the remote host, uploading and downloading files, navigating through directories, and browsing contents of the directories. The syntax to establish an FTP connection with the remote host is FTP space IP address or the host name. Let us check this on terminal. When you have entered the command, it will ask you for authentication via username and password. So let us go ahead and enter the username and then the password. Once connection is established and you are logged in, you may use these commands to perform different actions. So let us run some of these commands on terminal. So if you want to display the files in the current directory of the remote computer, you need to type in the dir command. If you get an error while running commands, then you can turn on the passive mode. This mode ignores firewalls and data port errors. So let us go ahead and run the dir command again. With the help of the put command, we will upload a file with the name local file. Press enter and the file would be uploaded on the remote computer. Now if you want to check the presence of this file, you can again run the dir command and you will be able to see the local file on the remote computer. Now let us go ahead and download a file from the remote computer. Here we have a file which we would like to download. The command to download a file from the remote computer is get space the file name, which is remote file in our case. So let us go ahead and run this command. FTP says that the file was successfully transferred. The quit command would log us out from FTP. This is how you can use FTP for data transfer amongst computers. The next utility is Telnet. It helps connect to a remote Linux computer, run programs remotely and conduct administration. This utility is similar to the remote desktop feature found in Windows machine. The syntax for this utility is telnet space IP address or host name. For demonstration purpose, here we have connected to our own computer or the local host using telnet. Once you have put in your username and password and you are authenticated, you can execute commands just like you have been doing so far using the terminal. The only difference is, if you are connected to a remote host, the commands will be executed on the remote machine and not your local computer. Telnet has become obsolete over the years as more secure protocols to connect to remote computers have come up. This is why we move on to the next utility, which is SSH. It stands for Secure Shell and is used to securely connect to a remote computer. Compared to Telnet, SSH is secure, wherein client-server connection is authenticated using a digital certificate and passwords are encrypted. Hence, it is widely used by system administrators to control remote Linux servers. The syntax to log into SSH is SSH space username at IP address or the host name. Let us try it on terminal. So let us log into SSH using the command SSH space username at IP address or host name. Once you enter the login command, the terminal would ask you for the password. Upon entering the password, SSH would be logged in. Now you can go ahead and run commands on it like the way you do on terminal. The difference is that the command would be executed on the remote computer. So let us try one more command, dir. This would list all the directory contents in the home directory. So let us find out what is the present working directory. So right now we are working on home Guru 99. Similarly, on typing in exit, you would be logged out of SSH. Let us go through the key points of this tutorial. Communication between Linux or Unix and other different computers, networks and remote users is possible. The ping command checks whether the connection with the hostname or the IP address is working or not. Run ping IP address or hostname on the terminal. FTP is preferred protocol for sending and receiving large files. You can establish an FTP connection with the remote host and then use commands for uploading, downloading files, checking file and browsing them. Telnet utility helps you to connect to a remote Linux computer and work on it. SSH is a replacement for Telnet and it is used by system administrators to control remote Linux servers. Thank you for watching this tutorial. I would see you in the next one.